So my biggest... Do that again. Okay, third time's a charm. Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maverick. I'm the author of the upcoming YA Dark Urban Fantasy Trilogy, Karma's Children, host of the Book Fiends Club, and founder of Story Salts, a small bookish bath stop. And today I am going to be doing an AuthorTube tag video. So I was tagged by Holly Davis to do the Fearless Writer tag. This tag was created by Kim Chance and Edward Gray, and I'll link all of those videos down below in the description in case you want to check them out. I'll be tagging a couple of other AuthorTubers to do this Fearless Writer tag, so stick around to the end of the video and check to see if you got tagged to do this. But until then, there are 10 questions in this Fearless Writer tag, so let's go ahead and jump on in. Number 1, lies. What is the biggest fallacy you're telling yourself with writing / being a writer? The writing community shouldn't be high school. So this is a kind of recent revelation that I've had, in that I realized that I was getting very depressed because I was comparing myself so much to others who I deemed were more successful than me based on the number of followers that they had. And I just realized that this shouldn't be a popularity contest. I should start judging myself based on the content and the value that I bring to people, rather than just the sheer number of followers that I have. After all, I truly do believe that having a small number of loyal followers who care about you and want to support you in any way that they can is better than having 10 times that of people who don't actually truly care. Number 2, starting new. Does the first draft scare you or motivate you? A little bit of both, actually. So when I have a new idea, I am super motivated to get right into the writing. I blow through the outlining because I love outlining. I go through the outlining and I start writing the first draft, and I am so excited about this new idea, and it just fuels me to keep going forward. And then once I reach the kind of middle point of the first draft, fear kind of sets in a little bit more, because I start doubting everything that I am writing and just start questioning all of the decisions that I've made. But once I get past that rocky middle part and approach more of the climactic scenes and approach closer to the end, I start getting a lot more motivated with that too, because I am hyped with the excitement of the climactic scenes, and I am just hyped to finish that first draft and finish the book. Number 3, roadblock. What's your number 1 obstacle stopping you from writing? Probably a combination of time and self-doubt. Sometimes I'm working on so many different things, even non-writing related, especially with my new shop, Story Salts. I've been putting a lot of time into that, and so I do find myself just not having enough time in the day to get all of the things that I want to get done. But on the other hand, there are definitely times where the procrastination, self-doubt kind of seeps in, because there are times where I'm just sitting down and I'm like, I have time to do my writing, I have time to do this, but I'm not doing it. And that question leads into number 4, which is reflect. How can you overcome that obstacle? So I tend to be motivated a lot by to-do lists, because I love being able to check off that I completed a goal on the to-do list. But I kind of have moved away from that in the past year or so. I used to totally live by my bullet journal, and I would put everything in there. And then probably midway through last year, I kind of dropped off the bandwagon of doing it, and it was kind of a stupid reason too. It wasn't that I stopped liking it and that I stopped getting benefits out of it. It was just that I was trying to make it so pretty and artistic that it just became way too stressful because I would, draw on a page or whatever and be like, oh my gosh, that looks shitty. And I would just get so discouraged because I am not an artist, I'm a writer. But anyway, it was just getting kind of stressful because I was trying to make it too artistic, and I dropped off the bandwagon for it. But I do definitely want to get back into bullet journaling, and maybe this time around I'm gonna try to keep it a little bit more minimalistic and just use it as a way to keep track of everything that I need to get done, and as a way of keeping track of those to-do lists so that I can check off and schedule all of my different goals and plans. Number 5, perfection. How can you challenge yourself to get past the perfectionism-procrastination trap? Oh my gosh, so this is probably the hardest thing that I have to deal with, especially when I'm writing the first draft, because I feel like the first draft just needs to be perfect. Like I need to get everything down perfectly and have this whole storyline, perfectly thought out and all of the transitions being great. And I just keep forgetting that it's the first draft, and the first draft doesn't need to be perfect, but I fall into that perfectionism and I end up just stalling out so much on my writing because I end up having to go back on everything that I've already written, and I go through edits and revising all that, and then that just stalls out and slows down my writing. That happened a lot when I was writing Karma's Children Book 1, and now that I'm writing Karma's Children Book 2, I am starting to get the hang of not going back and revising and editing everything that I've already done. So I've created a kind of personal policy with myself where I only read the chapter before where I'm currently at in the writing, just so I can kind of refresh my memory of where I'm at in the outline, and then I go into the writing and I try not to do any edits or revisions or even go back to the beginning of the book to read all that, because I just need to get through this first draft and then I will be golden. Number 6, failure sucks. How can you grow from a failure? So right now, the main failure that I have encountered in my writing and in life is just the self-failure that I put on myself by comparing myself to other writers. But as I said earlier, I need to remind myself that my success shouldn't be based off of my overall popularity, and I should be determining that success based on the content that I put out and the value that people find in that. Number 7, rejection sucks too. How can you grow/learn from rejection? So because I am an indie author right now and I'm not pursuing traditional publishing yet, emphasis on the yet part, I haven't encountered just flat out rejection for something like this yet. So something as big as like being rejected from an agent or publisher. But I do obviously get rejections and just little rejections throughout day-to-day life, throughout my business, throughout my writing as well. And I just need to remind myself that my passion speaks louder than anything, and I need to just keep pursuing it, because eventually something will give in and I'll be able to surpass that one obstacle and I won't get rejected. Number 8, creating action. How do you keep moving towards your goal? So one of my biggest motivations is visualizing the finished goal. In writing specifically, I like visualizing myself holding my book in my hands, feeling the pages between my fingertips, smelling that new book smell, and seeing my book on other people's Bookstagram pages. I find that this visualization of the finished goal really helps motivate me to keep going until I finally reach it. Number 9, new year, new outlook. If fear wasn't holding you back, what would you be doing right now to further your writing dreams? I'd probably be pursuing everything that's jumbled up in my mind right now. So I have so many ideas, so many book ideas, so many business ideas that are just stuck in there waiting to come out, and I would probably just be fearlessly pursuing all of those different ideas, despite the fact that some of them may not be that great and may not work out in the end, but I would just pursue that, and I would go for it and learn from those mistakes and learn from those failures. So yeah, so if I was living without fear, without doubt, I would just be fearlessly pursuing all of those different ideas and not to get depressed about all of the little menial things that don't actually matter. And lastly, number 10, leap of faith. What is one thing you plan to do this year even though it scares you? I am going to be publishing my first book, and while that incredibly excites me and I just cannot wait to get it out there into people's hands, it also terrifies me because this is something that I put my heart and soul into over the last 2 years or so, and it's being a writer is something that I always actually really wanted to do, and I only started pursuing it fairly recently. And so being able to have my book out there into the world while being incredibly exciting will also be so incredibly nerve-wracking, because my book will be able to be criticized by anyone and they will be able to say anything they want about it, and that scares me. Although, a little tip, I actually just recently watched a video by Kim Chance where she talked about some of the biggest mistakes that she made in her debut year of being a writer after Keeper was published. And she said that one thing that really helped her in helping to not look at the reviews, because she was finding herself getting really depressed and really sad based on all of the negative reviews that she was getting, even though that there were a small percentage compared to the positive reviews. They just kind of stuck out like a sore thumb for her, and they made her really sad. So she ended up having writer friends who she trusted go through her all of her reviews and pick out the negative criticism and the actual constructive criticism, and relay that information to her so that she wasn't necessarily seeing all of the kind of hate and dislike towards it, and more just the constructive criticism that will help her in writing better in the future. And so I think that that's what I'm going to end up doing. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it works, and we'll see if I actually do get affected by the negative reviews or not, and we'll see. But I do know that, yeah, publishing a book this year is gonna be extremely exciting, but also extremely terrifying. Alright, that is the end of the Fearless Writer tag, which was so interesting. This tag probably got me thinking and reflecting more than any other AuthorTube tag that I've ever done. And I definitely think that I'm probably going to bookmark this, or save this video, my own video, as a favorite, so that I can just rewatch it at any time when I'm feeling depressed or discouraged, and remind myself of all of my answers, and remind myself of why I am doing this, and that is to publish all of the jumbled stuff that I have in my mind and get it out to all of you. Thank you again so much, Holly, for tagging me. I had a lot of fun doing this. I'm going to be tagging Marie Ventris, Midnight Starlight Writes, and BytheBrooke to do this Fearless Writers tag. But even if I didn't tag you, go ahead and do it if you have an AuthorTube channel. And even if you don't have an AuthorTube channel, even if you just have a blog, I would really recommend answering those questions on this blog too, because it definitely helps inspire you and gets you thinking and reflecting on ways of how you can pursue your goals more fearlessly. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up, and let me know in the comments below if I helped inspire or motivate you in any of the answers that I shared today. I would love to hear them. Please hit that subscribe button to help support my channel. I would really appreciate it, and be sure to follow me on Instagram for more on my TBR list and my writing, and see some cool aesthetically pleasing bookstagram photos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!